It's Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time to look at another serial killer. This time, meet Mayuki Ishikawa. She was born in 1897 or so and passed on at 90 years old in Japan. She was a midwife during and immediately after World War II, and then she was a real estate agent. After her term of imprisonment, that is, because Mayuki Ishikawa and her husband Takeshi were both serial killers. Ishikawa shares some similarities with Amelia Dyer, the case we looked at from England last week. Some similarities in that social conditions contributed to many deaths, but also her circumstances, the circumstances of Japan at the time, and the support she drew make this case very different from Dyer's. Ishikawa has become known as Onisanba, or the Demon Midwife in English. She trained as a midwife at the Tokyo Imperial University, graduating in 1919. She married the same year to a man who was a police officer, but he did not have work, and so helped his wife with her midwifery. The couple had no biological children of their own, but raised a son of Takeshi's and adopted 3 other kids. Ishikawa managed a maternity home by 1943 called the Kotobuki Seinen. What happened there between 1946 and 1948 would become known as the Kotobuki Seinen Incident. By all accounts, Ishikawa was a political midwife, holding high positions in several different midwives' associations, and even running for her ward's assembly member position in 1947. She did not win. Many of the infants who were kept at Kotobuki Seinen were the children of unwed parents or parents far too poor to raise their children. Likewise, due to poor economic conditions that came along with war, there were fewer and fewer foster parents able to take in children. It was in these conditions that Ishikawa made a terrible choice. Well, several of them actually. She chose to neglect many of the children in her care to death, and most of them would succumb. She and Takeshi also demanded large sums of money from parents, much like Dyer did, claiming that the payment would be less expensive than raising their children. How much of these payments was used to support surviving children is unknown. The pair enlisted others to help them with their scheme. They had a doctor, Shiro Nakayama, to falsify death certificates, for example. As in England, there was no regulatory inspector to check on the well-being of the infants, or even to confirm exactly how many infants were left at the Seinen or other Seinens in the area as far as that goes. It was 2 officers who stumbled upon the remains of 5 children in January 1948 that would expose the entire affair and more. Unlike most of Ishikawa's victims, these children were not cremated, and autopsy would show that none of the 5 died of natural causes. On January 15th, police arrested the couple and found 7 surviving children at Kotobuki Seinen. However, 2 of those children died soon afterward. The bodies of many victims were found at a mortuary off-site and at a temple. By October, the couple had been convicted for 5 murders and sentenced to 8 years and 4 years. The doctor who falsified death certificates was also sentenced to 4 years. Ishikawa and Takeshi's sentences were later changed to 4 years and 2 years after an appeal. On leaving prison, Ishikawa would turn to selling commodities like fish and soap before getting into real estate. She returned to and continued living in the same house, Kotobuki Seinen, until near the end of her life. Ishikawa would blame the parents for the deaths of the children because they had been deserted, she would say. And many would support that idea. However, she and Takeshi took money from the parents to care for the children, so they were hardly abandoned. The investigation would be even more disturbing. Other seinens, 11 of them at least, just in the Tokyo area, were up to the same thing, more or less. 11 maternity homes in Tokyo alone, where children were being regularly neglected to death after the war. Like many serial killers, and there were more than one in this case, the impact of their criminal behavior on society forced change. Abortion was ultimately legalized for economic purposes in Japan to prevent any recurrence of incidents like these. Mayuki Ishikawa was the first discovered, and therefore the killer remembered to history. Like Dyer, the conditions that she was living in, both societal and economic, also played a significant role in the deaths of somewhere between 27 and 103 babies, given known estimates. If you're enjoying these videos and want more, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any videos. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it.